Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the A module. Congratulations, you've made it to the next module. I want to remind you that this is the tactical section, right? This is the part of the course that deals with the environmental factors and how you can use them to advantage. We'll also take a look at all of the environmental factors in your digital environment and how you can use those to your advantage. So this is just such a fun part of the course because it's dealing with the real changes that you can start making, not only to the space around you, but to your phone. And you can start seeing impacts that will last you hopefully a lifetime if you take this seriously enough. So welcome to Altering Your Environment is Essential. This is an introduction to the A module where we're kind of go over a little bit of the philosophy behind what we'll be talking here and all of the things that you can start doing with your phone as well as your physical environment. Your physical and digital environments are key to breaking the cycle of phone addiction. In fact, the most powerful of all sensory human abilities is vision. The human body has about 11 million sensory receptors, and approximately 10 million of them are dedicated to sight. So all the things that you see around you that are cueing you into how you should feel, those are a huge part of our habits and why we do the things that we do. In fact, in 1936, psychologist Kurt Lewin wrote a simple equation that makes a powerful statement. Behavior is a function of the person in their environment, and that can be represented like this. So behavior here is a function of a person in their environment. The way we behave is a direct function of our entire environment. I think that we get too used to just accepting how our phones and our digital devices are a part of the environments that we're in, but tuning your environments to help rather than hinder is the key. So the two goals of altering your environment kind of go back to those habit building and breaking practices that we talked about in the last module. By changing our physical and digital environments to make our phones both invisible and difficult, we can greatly increase the likelihood that we will reduce phone usage. So I just want to put here invisible and difficult. These are the two ways that we can begin to alter our environments in an essential way to make our phones more invisible and even harder to use. So there's a couple of high-level techniques that we'll be going over here to make our phone invisible. One of them is just putting your phone in another room. Sounds simple, but you'd be amazed at the effectiveness of just putting your phone in a different room from you. The other thing we'll talk about are the things that we can do to make our phone even more difficult to use. And that's where it starts getting really cool because it is, again, so simple, but when you start employing them, you'll start realizing the differences it'll make. One of them is long passwords, as well as turning on black and white mode. So again, these are all the tactical changes that we can begin making to our phones and our environments. We'll talk about things that you can do to your room, ways to assess a room to just make it that much more tuned towards a more mindful approach to digital mindfulness. So if you're ready to dive in like I am so excited that you're here. Let's move on to the next lesson where we will talk about taming your triggers and recognizing all of the ways that you are triggered to use your phone. I'm so happy you're here. I can't wait to get into this. Let's do it.